Hello everybody! Today, we're going to put together a Lego set. This Ocean Explorer, and I'm going to share some facts that I found in doing research about ocean exploring. So let's get going. As we'll be clicking Legos together, click that like button and subscribe. New videos every Friday. My love for Legos has gone back all the way to childhood. It's amazing to see that there is a toy out there that has infinite different possibilities. So every time I've seen the Lego Creator Series, it's always been 3-in-1 sets. In this Lego Creator Series, there are 3 main sets. There is the Ocean Explorer, an airplane, and a submarine. It's kind of funny that 2 of the 3 relate to ocean exploration. Today we're going to do the Ocean Explorer. In preparing to do this video, I did some research for what ocean exploring actually entitles for, like, how much do we need to do, what's left to explore. People would think that, well, we've been on the planet for thousands of years. We have the entire planet mapped out. But that's not true. Did you know that it is insanely more easy to send people to space and land a man on the moon than it is to send people to the deepest part of the ocean? In all of history, I mean, we have now well over hundreds of people who have gone to space, and yet only 3 people in all of history have seen the bottom of the Marianas Trench. That's insane. We look to the stars to explore, and yet there is an opportunity here on this planet to explore for centuries, and we still probably wouldn't see it all. The Marianas Trench, which I mentioned, is so deep that the force upon you, if you were to be at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, would feel like 100 full-grown elephants standing atop every single square inch of you. It's just insane the amount of pressure that the water has the ability to produce because of the depths. The Marianas Trench, for example, is 6.2 miles deep. It is equal to, or very similar to, 12 Burj Khalifas, the tallest tower in the world, in depth. Light will stop going through water at the depth of 3,280 feet. Which is a little more than a half a mile in depth. But just imagine, when you're trying to go the extra 5.7 miles into the darkness, there's no light that has ever seen, or has ever been seen at that depth, except for the submarines that we take down and the lights that they have the ability to use. Even at the crushing depths, they have found life all the way down there. It is phenomenal that life would evolve and exist in areas that would have absolutely no light. But there's even cave life that exists in caves that have never seen the light of day. Even with all we know about the ocean already, we haven't even begun to scratch the surface. With all of our efforts, we've only explored a grand total of 5% of the ocean. While we have detailed maps of every landmass on the face of the planet to a resolution of 10 to 20 feet, when it comes to the oceans, we've only mapped 15%, and at a resolution of 3.1 miles. That's pretty fuzzy. We don't have a clear definition of what our oceans even look like, let alone what's going on in the ocean. It's fascinating. While the oceanographers who seek to try to help the world understand more about our oceans want to map more of the oceans, there is 362 million square miles to map. It's gonna take a while. So, with all these facts, why isn't deep sea exploration more exciting? And why don't we have more televised things? I mean, we televise launches to the moon, we televise SpaceX launches to restock the ISS. But we don't see very much in terms of ocean exploration on the news. And I think it's a lot to do with the fact that it takes a long time. So the crushing depths that appear really quickly when it comes to diving into the ocean make the whole process slow. While it only takes 8.5 minutes to get a rocket into orbit, it takes approximately 2.5 hours to get down to just the Titanic. And if you have a submarine that can only make a total of an 8.5 hour trip, 2.5 hours down, 2.5 hours back, you barely get 3 hours to do the exploration that you want to do at the depths of just the Titanic. Now, the Titanic rests at 2.37 miles deep in the ocean, which is roughly 12,500 feet. That's not like going all the way to the bottom of the Marianas Trench. But you still need rather beefy equipment in order to get that deep. And you're going to need lots of light because, again, we've exceeded the natural light pass-through depth of water, and so it is pitch black. You have no light at that depth. And just so you know, you can go visit the Titanic still. I mean, if you have $100,000 per person to buy a ticket onto the next exploration, Ocean Gate Expeditions is still taking on more passengers for being able to go visit the Titanic another time. It's not going to be a luxury cruise. By signing up, you will be participating in the experiments and the work that will be going on there. So you'll get a more in-depth experience. But yeah, that $100,000 per ticket, it's really cheap. At least in comparison to what it used to be. It used to be a lot more. I'm very glad that this Ocean Explorer inspired me to take a look at these facts. I never realized just how difficult it is for us to explore our own oceans. With all the centuries that we had boats on the water, that we would have a better idea of what's going on down below. But we don't. And it's really kind of fascinating to know that we have a lot that we can do here, but that there's always going to be exploration, whether it be in the ocean, in the sky, on land. Even our land masses are changing slowly but surely. It's inspiring to know that there's so much more that we can learn and experience in this life. And I commend LEGO for going and creating or recreating a simple boat that not a lot of people would think about. Even just by doing that, they inspired someone like me to research and find all these little facts that inspire more awe when it comes to hearing about submarines and exploring and trying to find something that's lost in the ocean, because it's a massive ocean. We're just not very far along the list of exploring the oceans. And so to be able to keep track of everything going on over the oceans or in the oceans, that's a really difficult job. Even though it may not mean much to some people when they hear, oh, we ran a fiber optic line across the ground of the ocean, when you hear that cable dragged along the ground in some areas and actually destroyed whole ecosystems, we can't even fathom it because we never have explored those sections. But when they have gone down with to inspect the cable, they have found that there was life in some of those areas, and that the cable shifting accidentally caused some of that life to get removed or moved to different areas. The ocean is constantly changing, which makes it all that more interesting to study. I think it's fascinating that, as LEGO would define it, the LEGO Creator Series was designed to try to produce a rewarding build opportunity as well as inspire research and an imagination into what that particular topic is. Some of the sets are more realistic, but at the same time, they do have some of the sets that are more fantasy-based. It's interesting to see that the sets that are more centered around real life items actually kind of influence and inspire one to do research on that particular subject. As always, I'd love for you to enjoy more content, as there will be new videos every Friday. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button before the end of the video. Well, thank you for joining me today on this LEGO build. This Ocean Explorer was a real treat to be able to put together, and finding out all the facts about oceaneering and our exploration and current exploration of the Earth was really fascinating to me. I hope that the facts were relevant to you, as well as that they will help you understand in the future like what we've got left to do to explore our own planet. It's very interesting that, like I said earlier, that we know more about space than we do about our own planet. And there's a lot of planet to explore, and we could spend lifetimes exploring just our planet, and we probably still wouldn't know everything about it. I think that's a really cool thing. But anyway, you have a wonderful day. I had a lot of fun. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.